Good evening and welcome again to the Parliament. It's Friday night. We're going to be talking about the midweek games that have just gone, a little bit of transfer stuff, and then some predictions. You've got me and Stocky again for hosts for the evening. How's it going, Stocks?
All good, mate. All good. Excited about it, I guess. We went from a Haaland reunion the other week with Samir, and this week we're doing an England's Undiscovered reunion.
Yeah, that's the one. So let's bring him in. Greg's,
How
how's
we doing?
it going, brother? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, good. Real good.
We have another debutant, another YouTube debutant on the show. So
There we go.
tell everybody who you support, what you're all about.
I'm a Tottenham fan, unfortunately, for the time being.
for the time being.
Yeah. No, we're if you want to start on us straight away, then yeah, thanks for that. Because we are terrible at the moment. I think there's just never-ending problems at that club at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, we've had a few private chats, and you're always very, very animated about how things are going, and it's completely different to a lot of Tottenham fans a lot of the time, to be fair. But what are you saying about the midweek game, North London derby? What was your thoughts?
I thought it was men against boys, if I'm being honest. I think that's the closest. If you watch that game, I thought that is the closest you'll ever see to a proper side playing a very inexperienced youth side, in my opinion. That's an academy kind of performance that the Spurs boys put out. Now, I'm not going to blame the young boys because they're being thrown in at the deep end. There isn't any experience or any kind of strength around them, so they're kind of out there on their own a little bit. So I'm not going to have a go at them, but some of our senior players need to have a look at themselves. And bottom line is, Mitch, they ain't good enough, mate. In my opinion, like I just you go around the side, and I just think it's a very, very mediocre side.
Yeah. What are you saying? You think it's down to the players, or is it more Ange and set up stuff, and he's just not getting them playing the way they should be?
Combination of both, really, to be honest. I mean, look, every good manager in any walk of life will never ask his staff or players to do something that they can't do. That's generically known.
Yeah.
But Ange is asking them to do things that they cannot do. And we are making the same mistakes week after week, game after game. And as a player, that must just be soul destroying. Because you only need to look, when Spurs go a goal down, you only need to look at all of them start looking around at each other thinking, we ain't going to get back in this. Playing the way that he wants us to play, we ain't getting back in this. Like if we score a couple of goals and we're at home, because I've been over Spurs a lot this year, and we're at home and we score a goal or whatever, we look good. But away from home, rabbit in headlights if we go a goal down, because I don't see. The players even know it. You can just feel it. You know, they just playing that way is suicidal. You got to have the players to do it, and we just don't have it. Well and good if you 20 minutes or whatever, and you're at home and you got 60,000 on your side and all of that. But that's not the way the Premier League works. Like you're going to go away to games when you're going to need to grind them out. You need to adapt. You can't just play one way.
Ad, can I ask? Do you feel like certainly in the playing side, is there like a lack of leadership in there?
Oh,
like
100%.
you know, like
100%.
You ain't got no grizzle. I've never been a Romero fan, and like you'd say he'd do the leadery thing, but I think he gets too hot. I think he gets too entrapped in it, and then
without doubt, he's the closest thing you would say to a leader, being a centre half, but he's rash, isn't he? You know, if he ain't going his way, he loses his head, and then the whole team falls apart. So, and I'll be honest with you, in the start of the first probably 5 or 6 games, he was at fault for so many of the goals that we conceded in the first 5-6 games. Like Leicester, I can't remember. There was a few others, like games that we could have got results of, and he cost us dearly, Romero, to be honest.
He cost you twice against us.
Yeah.
Second game at James's Park, he was both times just having mental moments. Once from a throw-in, he went to close down someone stupid and left an open gap. And then the second one, he was the deepest player. when the play was going down the other side of the pitch, and we was in both times.
And again, if you watch him, I don't know if it's a language barrier or if he's just looking after number one, but you just take someone like Van Dijk for argument's sake. Watch how much he talks to his players alongside him, and his head is always on a swivel, and he's always talking to someone. Romero, he don't really talk to anyone.
Do you know what?
He might
Even a
find
bad
a career in that, but that's it. He don't organise his back line at all.
No. You ain't got to be the best player in the world, but everyone can communicate.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's like, obviously, good information is better than bad information, but yeah you got to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Key to
no information. Do you know what I mean? You're asking for trouble in my eyes.
I think the saying you was looking for there, Stocks, is no information is better than bad information, but...
Yeah, with Spurs, I'll take any information. But, I mean, we're that
danger. That's the only information you've got.
Yeah.
I've got some information. There's a big gap behind your back four. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, you guys must have watched us on many occasions, and I speak to people. You guys speak to people. We are the most entertaining side in the Premier League, but not for good reasons.
Yeah.
Like, you just never know what you'll get. Like, we should be on Comedy Central sometime.
Yeah. You're the side you want on that Sunday 4:30 game, because something mental is going to happen regardless.
Yeah, 100%.
Imagine if you didn't have Kuya. If you didn't have Kulusevski this year, it'd be bad.
Yeah, he's only 23, 24, and like he's doing really well. He's had a really good season. But if we're going to be that critical, would he get in any other side, any top four side? They would take him in the squad, but would he walk into any 11?
Depends who you're considering as the top four.
Well, let's just go. All right, would you have him in your 11 at Newcastle?
If he played on the right, yes.
If he played on the right,
he'd have to play off the right for us to get in our team.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wouldn't have him over anybody else.
And yet, some of the best performances he's put in this year, he plays in the 10, doesn't he?
Yeah, he plays
in the 10.
He plays through the middle, yeah.
So I'm not like. I mean, the 10's are kind of a holy grail number, in my opinion, like, and a holy grail position. Like, if you're going in there as a 10 or wearing a 10 shirt, you got to be worthy. He's not a 10, is he? Let's be fair, he's not a 10.
Little bit of background on that little comment there. Greg's was a 10. And
I weren't bad at the 10.
And to be fair, I'm going to big you up ever so slightly, but he's up there with probably the best player I've played with. So, yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give him
heavy number, isn't it? Them double digits were heavy number, weren't they, Ad?
I had to have players around me to carry them, really, to be honest. I couldn't carry him on my own, that's for sure.
Hey, you did well enough. That's it. Yeah. No, I'm not giving you any more praise today. That's it. That's the one.
That's all right. I'll take that.
Right. So over to you then, Stocks, because new manager in, first home game in the Prem, first win.
Yeah. Do you know what? There, you? Yeah, of course. Freezing my nuts off. Do you know what? We were lucky. We definitely rode our luck, but green shoots. Like at times, I watched it and I was like, "Oh my god, we're a side that's coached again." Someone's passing on thought and an idea to players. A certain number of them worked a lot harder than I've seen in months. There was a shape that worked, so even when we weren't playing well, they could still rely on a bit of a shape to keep us in it. Yeah. For us, we've got some big injuries in there, and so like Paqueta went and played up front, and he'd done a decent job. It's the best I've seen him play for quite a while. And Potter showed some, like, stuck his neck out as well. Like, he dragged Kudus. I think it was quite early. It may have been 55, 60-ish, because he just really weren't doing much. And then he brings on Ings, who shuts down. I know Leno's had a mare, but he still got there and still shut him down for Paqueta to get a tap in. So yeah, it'd be interesting because he's not had many sessions. I think it's like 5 proper sessions since he's been in like on the park doing a session, not like a recovery or anything like that. So, yeah, he seems to be getting his messages across. I mean, he's saying all the right things. I know it's not difficult. Some like football press conferences now are a bit paint by numbers, but he's not putting his foot in it. He had a night. I could see a team that were trying to do something, not a bit. You know, when you look around and go,
you can see how they're trying to win the game. You can see what they're trying to do in their plays and stuff like that.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, like all right, you could say our goals were a bit lucky, but you still got to be there to pressure teams into it and punish them, and we did. So pleased. I didn't think it'd come because we've been banging on saying Fulham are a decent side, and Silver's done a good job this year.
Yeah. But we're just going through sort of that period where everybody's played loads of games. Because it's been the FA Cup, which everybody was still in. There have been loads of Premier League games. There's been no Europe, so the European sides haven't got extra games. Everybody's just in the same boat. So I think we're just coming to the end of that period where there's a lot of leggy players about, and you're seeing some sort of odd results here and there, and a few players not performing their best. Any of you catch any of the other football? I've only really watched highlights, to be honest, because I've had a mental week driving up to Liverpool and Manchester and such.
I've been
I've only
crashing
watched
up.
the Forest Liverpool game and then the Spurs Arsenal game this week.
Well, that's one of the others I wanted to touch on, to be fair. Forest Liverpool, top 2 at the time.
Good game, mate, to be honest. One of the best ones I've watched this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, good game that was. Forest really took it to them. In the first half. It's a shame they didn't really get the second goal because then they would have really put Liverpool on the back foot and all that. But second half, Liverpool got back into it, made a couple of changes, and then obviously cream always comes to the top. And if it weren't for their goalkeeper and their centre half, they probably would have, on another day, could have got beat comfortably in the end, probably by Liverpool.
Yeah.
But like if they're third in the league don't lie. Tell you what, they can hold their own. Really, to be fair, that very, very impressed with their striker as well. He's a lump, isn't he?
Chris Wood, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking, he's old school and he's just like play it up to his chest, play off of him, that kind of thing and that. But mate, the first goal when they slip him in and he just buries it. All right, some people say Alisson should have saved it and all that, but I thought the run to just peel off and just go on, slip me in, and then he buries it. I'm thinking,
off his left foot as well. Off his left foot.
Yeah.
Very tiny. Like I said, I've only seen the highlights. The defending for the Forest goal wasn't great. I don't know where Konate was going. He was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
But like you say, Chris Wood spotted that gap and thought, right, I'm in there. Play me. In it went.
I'm a massive Jota fan. I think Liverpool look a better side when he's up front. He's got lovely movement, everything. That said, you can't let someone that height be winning headers in the box.
No.
Yeah, but it's one of them. He'd just come on, innit he? So it's one of them that the defenders are like, well, who's now picking him up? And he's capitalised.
We've already said communication.
Mate, during that little period, just before they made them changes, I mean, the goalkeeper's pulled off 2 or 3 like world-class saves. Centre half's thrown his body on the line and saved them a few times. I mean, they're all grafting to hold on, sort of thing, and try and catch. They were even trying to catch Liverpool on the break. It weren't like they were just like pegged in, but they were just trying to ride the storm. And do you know, like to concede from a corner and being the smallest man on the park to nick it, they probably feel really, really disheartened with that, to be honest.
Yeah, they're going to be raging for that. I did see one of Bell's saves was a joke. I think it might have been another corner, and it dropped to Jota on about the pen spot, and he's hammered it. Shells has made himself big, and he's come off his knee and just gone wide. It was just like, that's it. That's it. That's the goal. That should have been a goal.
His speed off his line, whether it was a close shutdown or sort of, he was really sharp. He was on the money. Like when you watch it, first of all, when you watch it on telly, you think striker should bury that, but they're just trying to get a clean strike off. And when a pro hits the ball, it's hit. Like a keeper does well to save it when it's properly thumped. But every time he was out so quick, I found it. Like,
no, I'll tell you what, he ain't a bad goalkeeper at all.
He's come out of nowhere as well because he was at Newcastle not all that long ago, and he didn't really get a game, so I couldn't really tell you if he was good or rubbish at the time. But I had a look the other day. He's 33 years old.
Yeah, see, that's another thing with goalkeepers. They just need someone to just take a chance on them, don't they? Really, like you could be good sitting at a club in the wings, not really get much game time or anything. You just need someone to take a chance, and obviously that like Forrest have done that.
Yeah.
Because he's been sound, really, to be honest. I don't suppose many people have had him in their dream team or whatever and that, but
I have, to be fair.
did you? Yeah, do you know, like you say, because no one's really heard of him or knew really too much about him and all that, but I liked him.
Yeah, as soon as Forrest started keeping a few clean sheets, I thought, right, I'm going to chuck him in because he's cheap, and if they keep on going, I don't have to worry about my goalie. Just leave him in there every week.
But the man of the match on the day was the I can't even think of his name. It's the centre half.
Is it Murillo or Milenkovic?
Yeah, it might be him. Yeah, and he ended up getting man of the match for it. Which, to be fair, for 90 minutes he was sound. He was really good. So that always helps. And you've got a decent centre half in front of you. Your goalkeeper stands half a chance.
Yeah, Stocky's really he says glowing things about both of them centre halves. To be fair, that pairing's pretty special.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
They are good.
Two big boys.
Yeah.
I know it's like an increasingly technical league, but nothing like a big hulking centre half.
To be fair, Marino's pretty techie as well, though. To be fair, sometimes every game he seems to have a shot from like 50 yards.
I bet Ad's got him on some sort of bet builder.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm gonna ruin Murillo for you now. Yeah, every time you look at him, you're gonna see this. He is LL Cool J through and through. Every time I look at him, I can't see anything else than LL Cool J.
Decent. I'm gonna have a look at that.
Yeah, we're all doing it now.
Yeah, well, I'm going to touch on one more here because it's me and it's Newcastle and we've won 9 in a row, so I'm going to fucking say it. We've just rolled out another one, and as much as I only watched the highlights, I've read quite a bit about the game. I tried to find the full game somewhere, and apparently we just steamrolled them, apart from a few chances, which is crazy to win 9 in a row. And Wolves, I'm quite like Wolves. I think they're a decent side, but I think potentially we got a bit lucky because their manager decided they were going to start Cunha on the bench. And as soon as I saw that, I thought he'd give us the game here. And by the time he came on, we were 2-0 up, so the game's done. But have you seen much of us recently?
No, I haven't really. But the man up top, he's been everywhere, hasn't he?
He's different. We have got the best striker in Europe at the minute. On form this season. I said this to someone the other day, and they turned around and went, Haaland's got more goals. And I was like, well, Isaac's got more goals per minute. So he might have more goals, but he's played more games and he's played more time. So at this point in time, he's the best striker in Europe for me. And he's got a bit of everything.
No, he is pretty much complete, and he gets all sorts of goals. That's what I'm noticing. He's there for the tap-ins. He scores headers. We see against who did you play when he just lashed one? Was it Liverpool?
Liverpool, yeah, twisted up.
When he drops Van Dijk and just lashes one in from 25 yards. He can bend him in the corner. I mean, the kid, he's got everything. He's got everything, really.
The only thing I would say is when he's got a one-on-one where he has to run 20, 30 yards, he just seems to over-fucking think it every time. Like he runs the 30 yards, gets close to the goalie, and then just tries like a weird dink and does something stupid when all he has to do is just slot it in the corner. Yeah. And he's done it about 5 or 6 times this season, and it's just like, what are you doing? You're finishing in every other aspect is unreal, but why is it when you have to run 20 yards one-on-one, 20, 30 yards one-on-one, you just can't finish?
But that's just the difference of being like an out-and-out goal scorer and just a proper centre forward. Like I think for me, he's a proper centre forward. You've got players that will just put the ball in the net regardless. Jermaine Defoe, them kind of players who will just lash it home. They just know where the goal is and they're not looking for other people. But he's a team player.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He could have had a hat-trick, to be fair. And the third goal, he had a chance to shoot past it and it came back to him and he passed it again. Gave one to Gordon.
Yeah, well, I think that first one was a massive flick. Like, it's in his name, but that was a bit of a deflection for the first one, wasn't it?
What, the first goal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's still in his name because it was on target as much as going in the other corner.
Yeah, don't shoot, don't score.
Yeah,
Oh,
you could take away about 30 of Lampard's goals if you're taking them ones off.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
I'm all right with that. Speaking of like goals and that, a couple of goals in the Chelsea Bournemouth game. Cole Palmer's finish is just rude.
Oh yeah, that's old school playground stuff, isn't it? Looking at the keeper while he's on the floor celebrating as well.
Yeah. And I thought Semedo's. There's something about a righty just giving it one hell of a lash with his swinger near top corner.
What? Since when Semedo been right-footed?
I thought he was right-footed.
What's going on there?
Or is he left? Well, I don't
Surely
know.
he's left-footed.
I don't watch that much Bournemouth.
You know what? I need to have a look into that. I've seen him do some wild things on his left. So if he's right,
You know what? Do you know what? He
special.
plays off the right. That's why I thought he was right-footed. But everyone's
You might be right. You might be right. I've just seen him score like hitting shots from 25 yards that are going far top corner with his left. So it just made me assume he was left-footed.
Either way, that was a screaming finish.
Mm.
That was a screaming finish Tuesday night.
Did anyone catch Foden's finish?
Oh, what? Off De Bruyne's cross?
Yeah.
Oof.
I thought that was lovely. That.
Is it the one that comes across him and he just sort of opens his foot out?
Yeah. Paces on the ball already, and he just presses that in. Yeah, I thought that was a lovely finish.
Yeah,
it's funny. Man City could have lost that. Aki clears one off the line in the last minute, but again, they missed so many chances.
And something's not right at the club, is it?
No.
Really?
No.
I think that, from my point of view, I think that might be 1 year too many for they're kind of aging all at the same time.
Yeah, that's it. They definitely need a revamp.
They've done 5 years of just winning all the time and going through a period when they've lost, like when they started losing 2 or 3 on a bounce. Players just don't know how to deal with it. I don't think the manager knows how to deal with it. They ain't really come back from that, in my opinion. I know they're all going to say, Rodri, massive miss, but still enough quality in that side to be picking up results, in my opinion.
It's a tough one because with Pep, he's now won them everything. He's won 4 on the trot. Who is anybody to tell him he needs to change the way he plays?
No one.
Any other manager at any other club, you turn around and go, you're like Ange. People turn around and say Ange needs to change the way he's played because he hasn't proved himself yet. Pep's done it all, so it's kind of like you kind of got to give him the time to get through this moment and get more players back to get back to how they're playing rather than him changing everything.
Well, I know it's like football aside and all that, but all the saga with Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Now it's come out that Pep's getting a divorce. They're not on but I'll be honest, I reckon that training ground is toxic now. I bet training is. I bet there's loads of little bickering, loads of little fights that are happening. I bet nobody's really happy. That's what you get when you just become sore losers, don't you? When you're winning all the time and then you get beat or it's not happening, you just kind of, and that's what it looks like to me. It doesn't look like they're digging in. It looks like they're kind of just playing for themselves.
Yeah.
Like the team factor's gone out of it, kind of.
I always said for the past couple of years, when Man City have ever come to West Ham, I was like, their work off the ball is second to none, whether in possession or especially out of possession. Off the ball, they're always excellent. But I've seen so many games this year, you're thinking, what's happened? And like in NFL, they say sometimes you've either got to change the players listening to the message or change the message.
Yeah.
And maybe, as you say, 4 titles, Champions League, World Club Cup things and stuff. Maybe the players they've heard the message for 4 or 5 years. Maybe they're just not responding to it. So do you keep Pep or do you keep some of the players?
Another thing, those stocks, like you're 100% right. But you see, this is what I'm trying to say about people with Spurs and Ange, the way we play. Like all these Premier League clubs, they have like loads of analysts that analyse games. It doesn't, and loads of coaching staff and all the it doesn't take long for people at that level to kind of suss out danger points for other teams when you play them.
Proper,
So fair play to Pep because he's put a side together for 4 years that have kind of just steamrolled through teams, might have dropped points here, but the way of playing, you couldn't combat it.
Mm.
I'd hate to go back to Spurs, but Angie's, you kind of like, you have to evolve all the time.
Yeah.
You can't just go, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Because if the players ain't up to it, other teams find you out.
Yeah.
And I think they are getting found out.
Fair enough.
Like, that's what I think, isn't it? Well, like Haaland, all of a sudden, he ain't scoring goals, is he?
No.
Teams are kind of sitting him off, like kind of sitting off him now when he's like 30 yards, 40 yards from goal. Not getting so tight because you go, do you know what? Let him have it there because if there's no space for him to run in behind. And if it goes wide, if you let him have it, he passes it wide. They don't cross it for him to go and edit it.
Nah.
Take him out the team. I know they've missed De Bruyne and he's just come in and other players and all that, but no, I hope the wheels have fell off. I do.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Rolling back to, now you've said that, rolling back to something that we said a couple of weeks ago on here about 3 teams really, Forest, Liverpool and Chelsea. So they've all had really good starts to the season. Do you think, based on what you've just said, that obviously Liverpool and Chelsea have got new managers, now teams are going to be playing them for the second time? Do you reckon we'll see them drop off a bit because there's nothing new now? They've seen how they play, they see what they do. And is it like, we'll now see second half of the season how good these 2 managers really are if they can make the tweaks for teams that are now set up for what they know they're going to play like?
No, I don't know. I think it's I think that's a different scenario. If I'm being honest, I think that Slot's Liverpool side, they're all still hungry to go and win stuff. His team, his players, and the way that they're playing, they're all still buying into it. They're at the early stages of it, and I don't know. I think they are the team to beat. I wouldn't be surprised if they go away with cup double or a treble this year. To be honest, I don't see a team in Europe that's going to trouble them until the later stages. I think is the league nigh on done. I think if they get out of January, mid-February, and they're still at the top, you would say it's done. They're going to bash Spurs in the return leg to get to the final, wouldn't they, in the Carling Cup? Let's be fair. And they're still.
Won't win it though.
Yeah, and when you're a winning team, you don't seem to be getting it. No one gets injured.
Yeah,
they just got strength in depth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like kind of the new City, but kind of a poorer man City. But they're still a proper side, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, fair point. Fair point. As we were just talking about City, we'll roll into a little bit of transfer talk. There's not an awful lot going on with City. We've heard about there's a guy not in the picture, Marmouche, who could be coming over from Frankfurt, is he at? Who's had a great start to the season, but he's another wide man, which is not really what they'll need. Main talking point, really, is Haaland. Signed a 9.5-year contract. I haven't seen how much he's on, but it's going to be bonkers money. What do you 2 think about that kind of length of contract? It's crazy, really. That takes him, and it still only really takes him up to like 31 or something silly like that.
Well, I was reading. I had a quick little look on the Athletic when I was working, and they're like saying like this is like worldwide sports industry kind of deal, like bonkers money. What I would say is, imagine how many goals he's going to get in League 2 when they get dropped down the leagues for the financial irregularities. Apparently, in his previous contract, he had buyout clauses.
Okay.
Which have since been removed.
All right.
Because he was one of these footballers that he always had a plan, didn't he? So he was at Mulder. He was like, I'm going to go here, to go here, to go here. And it was no secret about the Real Madrid thing years ago. But signing a 9-year deal really locks him in. And for a team that's, always being looked at for financial things, and he's going to be on such a mental amount of money. How do they do it?
Yeah.
What creative?
That's probably why they've done it over 9 years, though, because they'll probably be hiding bits here and there and all kinds of stuff on the length of the contract.
And does what they're paying him affect how they're gonna renew the squad? I suppose the geezer on the other side, you've got there, Mitch.
Yeah.
As in Walker going out, getting rid of him would save them some
Save a
quite
big
a
bit
few
of weight.
bags a
Yeah.
week, wouldn't it?
Talk is that he's off to Milan. Not sure which club, but both have been mentioned for him.
I read Inter this evening.
Yeah, I've seen both banded around. But just rolling back to Haaland a sec. So 9.5 years in the Prem. If he stays 9.5 years, what sort of number are we looking at when he goes? Because you can pretty much say if he stays the whole time, Shearer's record's gone.
Yeah.
It's just how far does he move that needle?
So from that, he needs to score 18 goals a season to beat Shearer's for that 9-year contract. So
Is that all he needs to get?
yeah, 18 goals a season. I mean, he'll get like 10 of them just like against West Ham probably, because he always bags a few against us.
So he's 160 odd off it, yeah? 162 or
Yeah.
something like that off it, yeah?
What the fit for me?
Does he stay?
Like 9.5 years, like that is obviously that doesn't really ring right to me. I don't see how that helps because where's he gonna in? Oh, what are they trying to? How old is he now?
23? Is he 23?
Yeah, something like that.
Let me have a quick look.
But you never know what a player's gonna be like in like 4 or 5 years' time.
No, he's 24.
He's 24.
Yeah.
Doesn't take into account.
Do you know what? I'll throw it out there now. I don't think he don't beat Shearer's record.
No? What makes you think that then?
Personally, because like Pep's not going to be there forever. So when he goes, does the money then go? Then like Pep's kind of an innovator and kind of a little bit once every 15, 20 years. So when he goes, they're just going to get they'll get another top manager. Of course they will. But how top of a manager?
Yeah, I get that. But
Is
then,
he gonna buy into that? Like he's going to lose some of his pace and like just the will to win everything consistently because he's already won everything. And then all of a sudden, then all you've got is a Clumberson number 9. That if you ain't got proper 10s behind him or you don't feed him properly, and then there'll be younger defenders coming in that are going to be more of the same now. So like more ball playing centre halves, more quicker centre halves. I don't think 9 years is like he'll do all right for the next 3 or 4 years over here without a doubt. Talking up silly numbers, of course he will. But I think anything beyond that, I think that's a bit. And to obviously throw the money at him like it's a guaranteed. I'm not so sure that's a good move, really. To be fair.
okay, fair enough. I don't really think there's much more to talk on City. Only really put them in there for the Haaland contract. So
Just quickly, if I'm going to throw out a 9.5 year contract for someone, that's got to be someone that is like a leader, someone that you want to, like you can build a club around, build a team around. Do you know what I mean? Players can come and go, but he is going to be the Roy Keane, the Vieira, whoever you want to, you know. And is he going to be that? Is he going to take the armband like in 4 or 5 years' time and be the captain of that?
it depends. You don't really know what his character's like behind closed doors and stuff like that. So maybe he is that type of character, but it's just.
Would you give it to him?
I think a 9.5 year contract is bonkers for any player, unless there's like massive stipulations in it through injuries and all kinds of stuff like that. It's the most ridiculous thing you could do because if he goes out at the weekend, God forbid he doesn't, and like takes a tackle that takes him out and he never recovers. They've still got to pay him for 9.5 years. It just doesn't make. I know that's completely away from the footballing side of things, but it just doesn't make any sense to do that.
No,
because
but didn't Cole Palmer get put on a 9-year deal?
Yeah, Chelsea. Massive contract as well. Chelsea have done it with like 4, 5, 6 players.
And that makes more sense to me. Cole Palmer being a 10, I'm just thinking someone like Totti at Roma, You know, he's someone where he's just a genius with the ball that you can just keep him at one club. Players will come and go, but he's still going to be that guy.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like that. That's that I could understand. Now, Cole Palmer down for as long as we can. Yeah, cool. I get that.
I think he relies more on his technical abilities as opposed to his physical prowess, whereas Haaland's a bit more about the physicality, his pace, his strength. It's a bit different. Father Time waits for no one, but if you're sharp of mind, it doesn't tend to go away, does it?
No. Definitely not.
If anything, you hone it and improve it, don't you?
Yeah, and
So,
you know what? As his years go on, when he gets like, he'll be someone like 32, 33, maybe even 34 if he's still there, something like that. He'll end up going to play like holding mid, like Perlo.
yeah, just having a stroll.
Like he'll just end up, or like Xavi, he'll just start spraying balls off, like getting it off the centre half and just start spraying balls. That's all he'll do, and he'll get another 4 years out of his legs for doing that.
Or could he just be a bit like Teddy Sheringham?
All that.
He played a similar
All
role.
That. Yeah.
Just have that yard in his mind rather than in his legs.
Yeah, all that. He could quite easily do that.
Right, let's roll on to the next one. Arsenal. What is that?
Wow.
Which is, I don't know if that keeps changing your side, but it keeps flicking back and forth mine. Yeah, so Zinchenko has been touted to be going to Dortmund. That's sort of the least interesting part of this conversation. But by every single report I've seen, you can kind of see what Arsenal are trying to do here. They're trying to add goals.
Are they just trying to buy a title like Man City did?
Well, I'd see it more that they've identified a problem and they're actually finally looking to solve it, because everybody's been telling them for a good few years, and Arteta is the only one that doesn't want to hear it. But they need a front man. They have for ages. Not a Jesus, not a Havertz, an actual bagsman, someone to put the ball in.
Yeah,
hard to come by though.
Yeah.
If you ain't gonna go and spend £100 million for a club like Arsenal, they want the ready-made article to just go in there and just hit the ground running and start bagging goals. Who would you go after?
Fit that though.
Who would you go after?
I reckon three of these guys fit that. You've got Wissa top left, then you've got Vajovic below him, and then you've got Gyökeres next to Vajovic. All three of those are pretty ready-made.
Well, Premier League? Like, you think they'd be all right over here then, yeah?
Well, Wissa would, because he's banging them in for Brentford. So
I
reckon all three. The other three are slightly more risk, because Cunha's not really a goal scorer. He's a very technical, sort of wide 10 kind of player who could probably play through the middle now and again, but he's not going to get you like title-winning goals. Sesko is very much a question mark over his head, and I had known nothing about this last guy. His name's Wahi or something like that, and he plays for Marseille, I think.
Oh, West Ham have been talking to him. He has got to check.
He is also on the West Ham slide. I know nothing about him, so I can't really say an awful lot.
Do you know what? He doesn't sound a great person.
Well, fair enough.
No, let's just say he's not quite as bad as Partey's been accused of, but he isn't very nice to people off the pitch. Put it like that. But he does get goals, but I don't think that absolves you from being a fucking prick.
No, it doesn't.
I'd say Gyökeres, but do you know what? It's funny. Arsenal, I think, for too long were worried about an aesthetic, having to play a certain way. Goal scorers are different. Doesn't matter what they do. The rest of that side's good enough to. They just need someone to finish it and to be cold. I think we've said before, Mitch, you've got to be emotionless sometimes in front of goal.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get caught up with the rest of the game. Just do the one job.
Yeah, when the ball lands at your feet in the box, figure out the best way to put it in the net. That's your job as a number 9. It doesn't matter about anything else.
And I would say Gyökeres is the man for that, but every English club's going to be kicking themselves because no one picked him up from Coventry.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes players need to build into it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just jump from Coventry to the Prem because you're going to be scrutinised instantly. Sometimes you need to go away from the lights, build a little bit, and then get to the point where he is now. But there's still question marks over him. If he comes to the Prem and doesn't do it, like he has done it against Prem clubs in the Champions League, but that's every now and again. he's out in Sporting, flying high with his confidence because he's bagging goals every week. Might not be the same when he comes in and he's up against low blocks.
This is another thing. If you're a striker where you're scoring where you are, why change? Like a lot of strikers are kind of superstitious guys, aren't they? You know, like if they're scoring, just leave them alone. Whatever they pitch on training and all that, and then you try and buy someone. It's like, I'm not saying like Newcastle would look to sell Isak or not, but if I'm Isak and I'm bagging, I wouldn't want to go anywhere in the world right now playing the way I am in this Newcastle side. You would just stay there, apparently scoring goals, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you can. Like, I'm not comparing Newcastle to Sporting. I'm more comparing the Premier League to the Portuguese league.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the league with all the lights on it and all the eyes on it, and you're playing for a team that is fighting for the Champions League, that kind of fits. But if you've only got the lights on you 8 game weeks a year when you're in the Champions League, you want that. Strikers are egotistic. They want to be in the limelight. They want the lights on them all the time. They want to be scoring in front of as many people as they can possibly score in front of. And he might be thinking of it from that kind of point of view.
If he's good enough, yeah. How old is he?
Again, I've got no idea. I'm going to guess that he's 23 because I think he's a year younger than Isak.
26.
26.
26.
Yeah.
Oh, like kind of moving into his prime. So yeah, I mean, if he's as good as what he is on paper, it might be a good move for them. To be fair, get him in. Like you say, they just need someone to put a ball in the net, and then they're pretty much the complete side, if you ask me. Really.
Yeah, I still think they're missing a few little pieces, but that completely transforms them if they've got a guy that's gonna bag them 20 goals from.
That just sorts out their spine, doesn't it? Right for their goalkeeper, their centre halves. Like maybe get a midfielder in or whatever, but Saka will be back, and then you get a focal point up front. Yeah, dangerous, real dangerous.
Fair point. Right, we'll roll into the next one. Manchester United. The only main link that I could see coming in is Brian Broma, who's linked to all kinds of clubs. He's linked to Tottenham. He's linked to Newcastle. I personally see him as the guy that Liverpool are going to go for if Salah leaves in the summer. But I'm not actually sure he even fits at Man United, to be honest. I thought what was more interesting here was the outgoings.
Yeah.
Like Garnacho, Mainu and Rashford all linked with moves away, and quite heavily linked with moves away as well. Surprises me.
Rashford needs to go, in my opinion. Right, and not even just to another Premier. He needs to get out of the country. He needs to go and resurrect his career abroad somewhere for England, for England's sake as well, and for his own.
Well, weirdly, the teams I've seen him linked to are West Ham and Napoli.
Yeah, just go Napoli. Not saying nothing disrespectful to West Ham at all, but I just don't think it would be good for him to stay in the Premier League.
He needs to go find the love again.
Yeah,
definitely. He needs. Yeah, I'd say it's funny these players are being highlighted. It's because if sold, they on a balance sheet they are pure profit.
Yeah.
Well, we've spoke about Mainu a fair bit, and they'd get the most money for him. I don't know what Ad's going to say, but I've been saying for months or longer than that. I think Garnacho's so overrated.
Yeah, he's not great.
It's just his decision making so bad. I don't care if people say he was young. You're a professional footballer. His decision making and his input in final thirds just dross. He got one over.
What I would say about him is he works hard, doesn't he? Yeah. Even if it don't kind of come off for him or whatever, he does work hard. But I'm with you. Yeah, his decision making he's not a Man United player, if you ask me.
Nah.
Not a starting 11 at all.
No. Well, over a few years, you'd say it's just another indication of declining standards. from
Yeah.
when we were kids.
Oh,
You
yeah.
you had to be the best on the pitch. You had to be the best mentally to survive at Man United, and now they'll take anything that's going in terms of
No,
ability wise, wouldn't they?
Again, that comes down to leadership again, though. Like, in my opinion, and like they just don't really make them anymore. In my opinion, I think Newcastle got who's the geezer in midfield who wears the armband for you, the Brazilian. Like, he's a leader. He looks, and they're someone you can build around. Van Dijk at Liverpool, leader, but dying breed, if you ask me.
Yeah, there do seem to be few and far between. Where every team, sort of back early 2000s, late 2000s, had 2, 3, 4 of them in the team that you knew would take up the mantle when needed.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens with Man United, because like Man United fans confuse me these days because they rate players as like their star man that don't even get into like most of the top half of the table teams, and it's like, what has happened to you lot? I find it fucking hilarious. They're calling Ahmad at 22 Starboy, and
Crazy.
he just looks like a bang average Premier League wide man to me. I don't know if I'm nuts, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, he's not special.
It's just crazy. I genuinely don't understand it. I would be, to be honest, I'd be looking to get rid of him over Garnacho. As much as Stocky doesn't rate Garnacho, his decision making's crap. I just think he has got a little bit of X factor about him at times, whereas I just don't see it in him. I don't see it at all.
Again, like all the names you're throwing, they're too young. Like they're established Premier League players, but they're not experienced players.
No.
You know, like them trying to offer up Garnacho tells me that they don't really see him being anything in 2 or 3 years' time. Now I would say, let's wait and see.
Yeah.
You don't get in the first 11, but I'd have him. Let's just see how he progresses. But they're trying to offload, and Mainu's another one as well. I've seen Mainu boss games. If they're talking about trying to let him go, do they not think he's going to be anything in 3 or 4 years' time?
I don't think he's athletic enough to play the role he plays in any top level team.
What, Mainu?
Yeah. I think he's very, very good when you get the ball to his feet. He's so silky on it, and his passing is great. But I just don't think he's athletic enough to establish himself in the biggest games consistently.
I don't really focus on Man United too much these days. Has he been injured, or has he just not been fancied? Because I've seen Casemiro and Eriksen playing a lot. So has Manu been finished or just been on the bench?
He's been in and out of the team.
He's been on the bench last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the team, and even when he seems to be playing well, he brings him off with like half hour to go, which is odd, because as much as I don't think he's athletic, he's fucking 10 times more athletic than Casemiro and Eriksen put together. But I don't know what's going on with him. He was injured at the start of the season, and then he came back into the team, but he's just not been great this year.
Maybe he's finding his feet. Do you reckon this is one of his first bigger injuries, and he's just working through it?
Potentially. Could be.
Could go either way with him, really, to be honest.
And to be fair, he's still what? Is he 19 now? Or has he turned 20? He's still a young lad, so he's got a lot of developing to do. So it might just be one of them that his body's changing slightly. He can't take in too much football.
Do you remember when Steven Gerrard, like before he got tanky, like they had to stop playing him because he was literally getting growing pains and things like that, weren't he?
Yeah, his knees. There was problems with his knees where he was growing so quick.
Yeah, maybe it's that. It'd be good for England if he can play, but whether or not he's that level,
I don't think he'll be a consistent starter for England over the next 10 years. I think there's more talent in and around that will overtake him, and he won't get as much game time as some pundits and Man United fans seem to believe, to be honest.
Interesting.
Right, Stocky, your boys.
yeah, interesting, because it's all changed after like the Lopetegui thing. That Tim Steiden, who was dealing with transfers, been slapped down a bit by the sounds of it. Yeah, Rashford be too expensive. I think they're just clinging to the old Jesse Lingard hopes on that one.
Okay. Would you
But
take him though? That's the question. What if Man United were looking for a loan with an option?
no, I mean,
Yes, you would. You'd have him.
in
I think
theory, it
I'm
works.
just more thinking with your injuries. You've got obviously your
Yeah.
two nines are out
Mm,
and Bowen's out.
mm.
So if they
Well,
turn around and said you can have him till the end of the season on loan, the option's yours. If you want him at the end of the season, you can have him for whatever the price is.
yeah, depends. That's up to Potter because I think you got to look at him in the eye and speak to him and see if he still fancies it. Does he want to do? If he wants to do it and he looks like he cares and he wants to come here and work his nuts off, it could work.
Yeah.
But that's a club decision and speaking to him because sometimes you could look in a player's eyes and you're like, if his demeanor's not right, what's the point? You're spending a lot of money for no return.
That's it.
I'd find that riskier than the others. I mean, obviously, you can see our problem. Funnily enough, we're linked with all these strikers, and yeah, it's something we do need, but we need some legs in the middle of the park.
Okay.
Badly need some legs, but this is all striker related, so I'll stick along the lines with that.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't really see many. I only scroll. I didn't scroll forever and ever and ever. To be fair, so I was just plucking names from the last few days more than anything.
That's fair enough. Ansu Fati, no thanks. You'd only go for him if we're selling Kudus. I've already spoken about the bloke from Marseille. I don't think that'll work. I'm interested in was it Chuemi or whatever? I don't know how you say it properly.
Who's that? Which one?
Forest.
Oh, Awunyi.
Oh, and yeah, that's it. I always get him mixed up with a big dude that used to play at West Brom, who was massive. Anyways, yeah, this was years ago. He was a striker that wore number 5, which pissed me off. Anyway, he's the most similar physically to the way Antonio plays.
Okay.
This is why I look at him and was it
Muniz
from Fulham. It's a similar profile. We've always tried for the last few years. We've tried to sign another striker that's different to Antonio. I was like, you need to get because he's weird. I call it the Antonio paradox because you can't play with him and you can't play without him. As soon as he's not there, you think, oh my God, we miss all them good things that he does. And then when he's there, I'm like, oh dear, that first touch or that finish. It's weird. So I think you just need to get a more polished player, that profile. So I'd go for either of them two.
Don't you think it's obviously I don't know what Antonio's situation is, if he's ever going to play or what, if he's going to come back. If he is going to come back and start playing, would you not consider that a little bit short-sighted? Because as much as these two bring up the floor, they don't really raise the ceiling for you at the 9, do they? Because they're very similar-ish talent-wise to Antonio. So when he's back, you're in the same spot still.
Well, I don't know whether these are purchase or loans to get us through.
I'd be shocked if you get either of them two or Andre Silva on loan, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite difficult. It is quite difficult for us at the minute because we spent an awful lot in the summer. An awful lot, both transfers, wages, and it's really difficult. Obviously, you've just changed manager as well, so I still look at West Ham and like peak boys of how we're playing. Eventually, Potter's gonna mould the side to how he wants to play.
I was just going to say that there's no way for me Antonio comes back and plays under Potter.
No.
By the time he comes back, West Ham will be a completely different side, and he won't fit in the way Potter plays.
I'll tell you what, I'll be more than happy with him being a rubber dub.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, wouldn't most teams? No,
Could you imagine bringing him on?
He's a massive handful when he's an handful.
15 minutes of chaos, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, and he can nick you goals, and yeah, no, he's I think he's better than Heskey. Do you remember Heskey?
Oh, Emil Heskey.
You reckon he's better than him?
Nah, I don't think he is. Heskey was, as much as he was a big lump and he was quick, he was very technically proficient, Emil Heskey.
Yeah,
he was decent.
So underrated.
It says a lot when as much as it at Leicester he bagged a shed load of goals, but then everywhere else he went, whether it was England, Liverpool, whatever other side, the player playing next to him was bagging hatfuls, and that says a lot. To be fair,
I think if West Ham back Potter, obviously get some signings in and see it through to the end of the season, and then they back him in the summer, West Ham will be fine next year. But I like Potter as a manager. Like every team, I like the way he sets his teams up to play, and I think he's a good fit for West Ham. I'm like, as a Spurs fan, I'm a little bit not jealous, but I'm thinking,
why didn't we pull the? Why didn't we?
Yeah, for me, it made sense. Like I look at Potter, I look at West Ham, and I think, yeah, give him a year or two, and West Ham will be a good side again. You know, they will be a good side.
Do you know how I'm nerdy? I love nerdy bits. I love seeing teams warm up, and I'm like, we've got a new manager. First couple of games, get there early.
Yeah,
he's already doing things in the warm up before the game that are different. That just started. They're gonna long term lend itself to cohesion.
Yeah,
but he's a coach. I watched an interview with him. He's a coach as well, like more so than a manager, isn't he?
He's
hands on the training ground and all that. Eddie Howe the same. I think that'd be good for them. I really do, for West Ham, and I'm all for that. I'm all for managers actually being hands on.
He's got to earn his money. He's got to earn his money this year. It won't be an easy ride.
No, it won't be. No.
I think that's why. I think that's why a strike is important, because we just need to. We're still conceding a few too many, so we just need to get enough goals to secure enough points. I'd say, get through the season, then hopefully he'll have his basis. He'll know who he can trust.
Yeah,
and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, we do need goals. I'd say I'd take. If you're gonna buy, I'd go Silva.
Yep.
If you're gonna, you're not gonna get a loan off the Prem players, so you'd have to say Rashford. I'm not sure about the other two.
Fair enough.
Why Silva? Loan Rashford.
Tell you what, if you're getting the names you've just mentioned, that'd be a good window. That straight away just tell they're safe. If those boys go in, they'll be safe.
Yeah. On what Greggs was saying about giving him money, letting him rebuild, I don't know what your PSR situation's like, but if, say, not in Jan, because obviously you need to stay up, so in the summer someone comes in from one of the big boys, and it would allow Potter to do a nice little rebuild over the summer, which one of them would you be most willing to see leave West Ham? So that's more kudos for Bowen.
I don't think I'm taking Bowen out unless it's a crazy offer. I don't think he'll go, or we'll let him go.
Yeah,
I already resigned myself to the fact in the summer after last season that Kudus was going to go. So I've already planned on Kudus going. Whether or not we'd still get the buyout clause that activates in the summer at 85 million. So bought him for 40 odd or something between 20 of, and then sell him for 80, 85, double your money. You've had like 2-3 cracking seasons out of him. I think that's fair. I think when he's on form, he's a bit too good for West Ham.
Do you know what goes back to my question earlier? Like, would he get in any of the other sides? Would you pay 85 for him, 90 for him?
Tell you what, the first season, yes. Yeah. When I watched set up Man City wingers, although they get highly systematic.
Yeah,
I was like, if he was in Man City and just had to play roughly to a system, he'd destroy people. Like I still don't know how people will box him out like 3 people and he'll still get out of these. Because that's the game plan at the minute. If you put 3 men on Kudus, Paqueta's playing up front, so he's not as dangerous. Bowen's injured, so you've only really got to focus on one attacking threat, like the main threat.
Yeah.
But he still wriggles out. Unfortunately, he's just not got much else to hit. Somerville don't seem bad. I'd say that's why we could handle Kudus going, because Somerville was bought last summer, probably in preparation. So he's got a year to be at the club before Kudus goes. That's what makes sense in my head. But
I think with a new manager coming in, I don't think that if I was Potter, that'd be one of the things I'd be saying to the owners. I'll take the job, but he needs to be here next year.
well,
Without that.
well, his form ain't been good, so maybe he's there.
Maybe. For me, he's still, if I was in charge at Arsenal, I would put in a crazy offer in Jan for Kudus. Because he can play anywhere across the front line. If you're really stretched, you can play him in an 8. And he can cover the right while Saka's not there. When Saka comes back, you can shift him over to the left and Saka can just slot back into his slot and you've improved the side.
Yeah, I think he's mustard. And when he's focused, his work rate is actually quite excellent.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I haven't really seen any defenders kind of keep him quiet, really. Have you?
No, he's a handful, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Right, our final little bit on potential transfers before we go into some done deals. Brian and Bramo's come up again. We keep getting linked with him. We were linked with him in the summer, to be fair. Miggy's the only major outgoing that seems to come up for us. And apparently, we're getting £10 million for him, which is amazing stuff. Him going back to the MLS to Atlanta, so we'll take that.
That's dodgy.
He's going back to. He's not going to Saudi though, is he? Come on, allow it.
How you getting 11 million for? Are you not putting James Trafford in there?
It hasn't been mentioned for the last couple of weeks. I think because I believe Eddie Howe's got his way.
Okay.
He wanted, because of how good Dubravka's been, I believe he has convinced the powers that can be that he deserves to stay till the end of the season.
Okay. James Trafford saved 2 penalties tonight for Burnley.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Sunderland had 2 penalties.
Fair play to him. But I agree with the Dubravka thing. As much as PSR is massive, and it's probably our last chance to get big cash for him, what he's done since Pope's been injured is he's been excellent. So to then ship him out when he's basically just got us pretty much 1 foot in the Carling Cup final as well, I think it'd be a bit of a piss take for him, to be honest. But what do you guys think on Bramo to Newcastle if possible? I think it makes us a massive fucking problem, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't think you need him, but it's like it just he improves your side bringing him in, doesn't it?
I think that's the one position we 100% need is someone to play on the wide right. As much as Jacob Murphy's putting up numbers, he is infuriating. He gives away so many easy passes that it's just annoying. I think Bramo just raises the level quite a lot compared to Jacob Murphy, to be honest.
Yeah, Brentford have been untouched for too long. They've been very successful in the Prem for a few years. No one's really hit them hard, and now everyone's properly sniffing around them two, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they've sort of their scouting's a little bit similar to Brighton's, isn't it? It's been very good for a while that they could lose a couple and then they bring a couple more in.
No, their setup's good. Their recruitment's very good.
I think what makes both of them Brentford players so attractive to other clubs is that they're getting lots of goals, but they're at Brentford, so they're going to work their asses off. They're going to be team players.
Yeah,
and that on top of quality in the final third, perfect. Chef's kiss stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Right, don't want to touch on Newcastle too much because there's not a lot happening, but a few done deals. There's very few big done deals that have been done. These are probably the biggest 5 that have happened since the window's opened, although one of them's not really a transfer, it's more of a cancel of a loan. We'll start with your boy, Greg, because I'm quite impressed with him, Kingsky.
You like him, yeah?
I think he didn't cover himself in glory at Arsenal.
He found out what flat football's all about, that's for sure.
But the first 2 games, I was impressed all round. He's got a bit of confidence about him, shot stopping, command of the box, decent kicking as well. What are you reckoning on him?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. The first couple of games, I was very surprised. And do you know what? After his first game, I see that Tottenham announced that Vicario was back in training.
Okay.
Because, like, to be fair, Vicario was just not doing it before he got injured. Like, it was getting worse and worse, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, yeah, after his debut, Kinski, I'm thinking that Vicario's number one spot should be up for grabs, without a doubt. But then I watched him the other night, and after the first 10 minutes, I know we was all at sea, but I thought that he would be sound. And I mean, his kicking was a joke. Like, even when he went long, it was poor. I don't know. Let the honeymoon period wear off, and then we'll see. 12 clean sheets already he's had before he come to us, where he was at like Prague. So, but that's in that kind of league. And I think Wednesday against Arsenal, when they shut us down, and it was quick for him. I think he found out what the Premier League's all about, and I don't think he coped well. I don't think he coped. On another day, let's be fair. If you guys watched it, if Arsenal would have scored 6 or 7, and it finished 7-2 or 6-2, I think that would have been a fair result.
Yeah,
wouldn't it? I'm just and yeah, it was lucky that it wasn't, and it wasn't down to the fact that he didn't make it like that. It was the fact that they just couldn't hit a barn door.
Yeah.
So on another day, having said that, again, it's Liverpool at home. When we beat them at home in the cup, that was when he played really, really well. But it kind of, for me, people get carried away. Overshadows the same thing happened when we played Man City. You go, we beat Man City 4-0 at home. Not really. They had an off day, and whatever we touched worked. Like, Liverpool come to us to not get beat. If they'd have come and put the same side that they did 2 weeks prior when they bashed us 6-something, on his debut, he probably would have held 4 or 5 against Liverpool. And we wouldn't really be sitting here saying he's that good. But do you know what I mean? Of course, it's for all different scenarios. And I think he will hold 4 or 5 before the season's out if he stays in goal for Spurs.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Could be the making of him, though.
Could be. But, as a goalkeeper, you start holding 3s and 4s in a game because Spurs can't keep clean sheets. So even if you do, like, it's soul destroying, isn't it? Like, all of a sudden you start going backwards. So I hope I'm wrong, but let's see. Honeymoon period. So yeah, it looks good so far, but we'll see.
Fair enough. I'm going to batch these next two together as they've both gone to Ipswich. You've got Philogene, who was highly rated when he was at Hull, hasn't really set the world alight at Aston Villa. And then you've got Ben Godfrey, who they've loaned in from Napoli.
Napoli? When at Atlanta?
Atlanta? I don't know. One of the two.
Yeah, I can tell by the kit.
Yeah, well, you clearly know Italian football better than I do these days. So I think they're both excellent ideas for Ipswich. Godfrey's played a lot of Premier League games, and Philogene could bring them a little bit more X factor in their attack to take a little bit of the sort of defensive focus off of both Delap and Hutchinson. What do you reckon on it?
Kind of copying that Forest thing with your target man. Good pace either side of him. Aston Villa pulling a bit of a PSR number there because they sold him to Hull with a buyback clause.
Yeah.
To then sell him on straight away, to like recall him, to sell him on. So they've had him there half a season and back at Villa, then sold him on again. Interesting stuff. Yeah.
Well, they've only sold him for 20 mil. So how much did they buy him back for?
No idea, but they bought him back this summer. Maybe they thought he was going to play more. Maybe they just...
I'm pretty sure I saw it was 15 mil. So as much as it is a little bit of a PSR thing, I don't think it hasn't really made him silly amount of money.
Yeah. I think that's a good signing. And I suppose it's one of them signings that, all right, they can afford him now. If the season don't go their way and they go down, that's a proven Champo player.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, bit of a no-lose gamble. And Godfrey on loan, sound.
Yeah, decent level Premier League player. Probably the biggest one that's happened so far. Haaland to Villa. One that I would have taken at Newcastle because he can play across the front three. Rapid player. I think that's a fantastic deal for them, to be fair.
Yeah, funny. He was highly touted at Arsenal, weren't he? But it just didn't. It never clicked for him.
Did he come? Was he like young at Arsenal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Greggs might have seen him out on the park.
The name rings a bell and all that, but I think he left really early. Or I don't know if he got released or if he left. But he went early, like too early to like. I don't think he was there past 12. To be honest, was he?
Nah, I think he got to like 18, 19 sort of thing.
Did he?
What? He come through the academy till he was 19.
Yeah, I think he did. I think I remember.
The whole way?
I'm gonna have a quick look now. Donnell Marlon.
I think he was there till
He either left early or he come in late. Then one or two.
he would have come in late, then left around 2021, I think. Obviously, I'm just doing this all off Football Manager memory.
Probably better than my memory.
He's done all right for Dortmund.
He was only there a couple of years, 2015 to 2017.
At what age did he come in at? 17.
So he would have been 15. He was there 15 to 17.
And what's his name?
Donnell Marlon.
Yeah, he would have been there when I was there. I don't recall him then. To be honest, he would. Yeah, and if he was there too, he would have had a scholar and that. So but he would have been at Haaland first.
Good. He's done all right at Dortmund. Like you said, he's rapid.
He's rapid, yeah. He was a problem when we played him twice last season. Problem.
They're looking a bit stacked in them forward positions, aren't they? Sort of forward wide positions.
Who, Villa?
Rodgers, Duran, Watkins, now him.
Yeah, but they've always... They look decent as the starting 11, but you take Rodgers out, who plays on the left? Fair enough, the 2 9s, they're both very good. Duran and Watkins are both very good. But again, on the right, all they've had really this season is Leon Bailey. Since they've sold Diaby, it's Leon Bailey or who? Like, who else are you going to worry about on that right-hand side? Now they've added Marlon in. Yeah, he can play both sides. I wouldn't say they're stacked, but it does make them a little bit stronger. And the last one, really quite an interesting one for me, really. Chelsea have recalled Trevor Chalobah from his loan at Crystal Palace. So they've added another number to their squad randomly and potentially completely destroyed what Palace were doing at the back there, because he's played pretty much every single game and they're just starting to look like a proper football team again. So I don't know why they've done it. Surely he's not coming in to start because they've got about 900 centre backs. But
I think they're letting one go. Was it Bashili or something?
I've seen Disasi potentially going out.
Disasi, yeah.
I'm not sure Badia Shield's been linked anywhere, but
yeah, I mean it's Chelsea, isn't it?
Chalobah's been at Chelsea for since he was really young, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm delighted they've done it this week because we've got Palace tomorrow.
Yeah, that could do you a massive favour, to be fair.
A tough game, but I reckon you'll beat Palace, new manager and all that.
Desmond.
Yeah, it kind of has got Desmond written all over it.
It's interesting because surely they're going to have to let someone go, or maybe they feel like they need a good backup for the league and someone for the conference campaign that they should cakewalk.
But surely they're getting near the point where the two teams sort of combine. I know the Conference League hasn't got many good sides in it, but that second string Chelsea does not win the Conference League. Someone will beat them. They came to St James's Park and they're rubbish, that second string Chelsea side.
I do find it, because surely he'd be better just playing every week as opposed to coming back and getting a bit here and there.
Yeah, maybe he's been given some assurances that he's going to get game time. It doesn't make any sense from any angle to me, but clearly it's been done for a reason. Unless there's a move, unless he's getting an actual move and they're selling him.
I think maybe the manager wants to see what he's got on loan before they sell him.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, get him back in for a few weeks, see if he is viable. If not,
if they're prepared to let him
sell him
go.
last week of the window. Right, that's pretty much everything transfer related. Let's have a little look at the weekend. Here we go. Right. Might as well start with you, Greg's. Anything jumping out at you straight away?
Looking at that, there's some tough games in there. God blimey, there is some tough games in there, isn't there?
I think it's a good weekend. And this is one of the first weekends that I've looked at and thought, you know what? The scheduling is decent.
Yeah, that is.
You've got a 12 that's worth a watch. You've got a couple of 3 o'clocks that are worth a watch. You've got a 5:30 that's worth a watch. And then you've got the same on Sunday. You've got a pick of 2 o'clock games, and then Ipswich City could also be interested in the afternoon.
Is Chelsea Wolves Monday night then?
Chelsea Wolves Monday night, yeah.
That'd be a good game.
That will be a good game and all.
I'll tell you, that's a good game for Forest right now, especially with Liverpool away at Brentford.
After the midweek, Liverpool, they'll either be really tired or they are gonna. I was gonna say they were gonna smash Southampton, but look what Southampton did to United the other day.
Yeah.
Cool, that forward had a good game for him. He looked a bit lively.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is now, but he absolutely destroyed Lenny Yoro over and over again. Just kept cooking him.
Do you know what? I'd say the two dullest games are like Leicester Fulham and West Ham Palace. Everything else has got some jeopardy. I mean, Everton could have won in the week, but Calvert-Lewin could not hit a barn door, unfortunately. Everything he touched was just not on it.
I used to back him quite heavily, and I've just stopped.
Yeah. You got Delap going back to City?
Yeah,
Delap playing City?
There's a bit of meat on everything there, really, isn't there? I actually think Forest Southampton's going to be pretty straightforward, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I find that exciting because there's a team you didn't expect at the top. That's why that's exciting for me. Your game should be a barn burner.
I'm hoping that we make it as boring as humanly fucking possible, to be honest with you.
Fuck you, man.
I think you'll have too much for Bournemouth at home. I think your boys will have too much for Bournemouth at home. But I just don't like those morning games.
Yeah. I'd never like a 12:30, and
they always mess up my bets if I throw them in there in the mornings, and you always get some dodgy results. If that was 3 o'clock, I'd just have loads of money on Newcastle. I think 3 o'clock they'll just bash them. But in the morning, I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm like I was saying earlier, we're just getting to that point where everyone's played a lot of games, and we have not rotated an awful lot. So I'm just a little bit worried there's going to become a game where we've just got no legs. But the same applies for Bournemouth. Apparently, they've only got about 13 fit first-team players, and they've just had an absolute barnstormer of a game at Chelsea, whereas ours was a little bit more straightforward, to be honest with you. And we're home back-to-back, whereas they were away back-to-back.
I still fancy Newcastle in that, thinking about it.
What do you reckon on the big one at 5:30?
Arsenal Villa?
Arsenal didn't even get out of second gear on Wednesday. And that's a massive win for them because they haven't been scoring or the results ain't been going their way. But I think they'll beat Villa quite comfortably.
See, things are getting hard for me now because I want to look at it from a logical point of view that makes sense. But every game I look at involves teams at the top that I'm thinking, who do I now want to win? I want someone to win so that it benefits us in some way. And it just kills part of the logic and I pick something stupid. But for me, logic dictates Arsenal win. It's Arsenal at the Emirates. They're a better team than Aston Villa. They should win the game in that theory.
Yeah.
To be fair, we might as well bang out a few predictions. We won't go into how bad our predictions were the other day, Stocks, because they were truly terrible. We got a couple of. We didn't get close on anything, to be perfectly honest with you.
That's why I don't bet money no more, mate.
Yeah, we were terrible. Let's just say that.
You actually do the score predictions, or we just going home, win, draw, away?
No, we're doing score predictions, but let me just say, if we did do home win, draw, away win, we were still terrible last time we did them. So let's just say that. Out of the 4 games we predicted, we ended up with 1 right result each. And that was Newcastle winning at home to Wolves. No, but I'm not talking the score. I'm just talking home win. And that was Newcastle winning at home to Wolves.
All right, fair enough.
But here we go. First game, we've got them in order of time of the week. So we've got Newcastle, Bournemouth to start off with. Go on, Gregs, we'll have you on this one first.
3-1.
Chief.
3-1 Newcastle, yeah?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
3-1 Newcastle, yeah.
My word. It's taken 3-1. I'll go 2-1.
2-1. That is what I was going to say. But
I was actually going to say 4-1.
Really?
So if Stocky wants 3-1, go and put me in sport. I'll have 4-1. Let him have 3-1.
It's turned into a bidding process.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll have 4-1.
Going 4-1 now. Stocks, are you sticking or are you going 3-1?
Yeah, let's bump it up. Yeah, fuck it.
3-1. All right, cool. I'm going to go 3-0 then. Fuck it.
All right. I'm looking forward to that Bournemouth 1-0 in the night.
Fucking hell. If that happens, I'm not doing any more fucking predictions on this show. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Be the last time. All right, Brentford, Liverpool.
Go on. Guest
What,
first.
you me?
Yeah, guest first, mate.
Guess first, yeah?
Yeah. Polite hosts.
Who won Liverpool?
All right, 2-1.
Oh, do you know what? Fuck it. Next time I'm going first. 3-2 Liverpool.
3-2 Liverpool. 3-2 Liverpool. Oh, Brentford, Liverpool. I'm going to go the other way. 3-2 Brentford.
Ooh, Liverpool have conceded a couple recently. Oh, God. Van Dijk's face the other day with Alexander-Arnold. Perfect. Yeah. He actually had steam coming out of his nostrils, his ears.
Yeah, I reckon that front 2 we've spoken about could cause them problems going towards the other way. So let's see how that goes. Next game, Arsenal Villa. Go on then, Stocks. You said you wanted to do one first. Let's see if you still what Greg's was thinking.
I fancy 2-1 Arsenal. I still think Villa would get one, but Arsenal will just do what they've got to do.
All right. 2-1 Arsenal. Greg's? 2-2.
Interesting.
I'm going draw as well. I'm going 1-1.
Do you think? All right. Can I ask you on a proviso of your draw? Is this going to be an excellent Villa display, or are Arsenal going to sort of trip over their own feet in front of goal?
Yeah, I just don't think they just don't look like they create chances, but they're crap in front of goal, man.
And it's all of them.
Martinez is a really good goalkeeper, to be fair. So they actually have to be decent in front of goal to beat him. And yeah, so I'm sticking by that.
I think Arsenal after their win against Tottenham was massive for them, but I don't think they're appreciating how bad Tottenham were or how easy that was. Like Villa's going to be a different story. Villa are a good side. You know, they travel well.
Walked through. They walked they done well against Tottenham, but I still say the amount of chances they made and good chances, you have to take them. And
I don't think they create as much against Villa though.
Nah. Also, I'd love Emery to go there and get a result.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
If he goes there and gets a result and brings back the good evening, that'd be fantastic.
yeah, that would
Yeah.
be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll raise a glass in the pub.
Right, and the final game, Everton Spurs, 2:00 on the Sunday. Either of you can go first. I'm easy on this one.
Well, Ad, are you toiling? Are you toiling with what you're going to go for? Because I know what mine is.
Yeah, no, go on, you go.
Stone Bonker 1-1.
1-1, yeah.
Stone Bonker.
While Greg's is thinking, I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham.
Wow.
Really? Nah, Moisey. I'm hoping Moisey can conjure something.
No, I don't think they will.
I mean, they really should go up there and win.
Yeah,
Everton are very
stop.
good. But that's the problem.
Away from home, we are poor, man. If we was at home, I'd go, yeah, I'd fancy us, obviously, coming off the back of Arsenal, I'd fancy us and all that, but
away from home, you're just not feeling
and
it.
it's just young kids again, and and Everton will look at that and go, let's have a right go at these lot, really, to be like, go on, I'm going to go Everton 2-1.
Ooh, hello.
It really is.
You know what's not the surprising thing about that is Everton scoring 2 goals. To be
Yeah.
Well, what, against Spurs?
Just scoring 2 goals against anybody, mate. I just don't. I can't see it.
They'll definitely score against us. That's what we'll say.
I can see him getting 1, but I can't see him getting 2. I can definitely see Tottenham getting 2.
Go 2-2 then. Desmond.
All right.
Desmond.
Right.
Say, Dwight McNeil back for them. That's the only
I
way I
can't
could
be a
see
Spurs
them
fan
getting 2.
and like predict us to get beat. I can't do that.
Yeah, no, you've come on first, debuted on, and gone right. We're getting beat by Everton. That's just what that is wild. To be fair.
Yeah, no. I was sitting there thinking about that, and I just thought, no. I like, as a Spurs fan, I'm shattered at the moment. I'm so down. It's unbelievable. I wouldn't be surprised if we get beat up there. I really wouldn't.
Fair enough. Well, I just think they're terrible. As much as Moyes has come in, he's got a massive job on his hands. I still think they'll go. As much as he's come in, I think they'll go down, and it's about time. So I'm hoping you go up there and do a job.
So am I. But Palace were terrible until they played us at home. We are the team that if you're not playing well or you're going for, we are the team you want to play.
Yeah, but teams like Palace, like I know there's Palace and Ipswich, they've all got a few decent players. Like Hutchinson, Delap, you've got Eze, you've got Mateta, you've got Sarr. There's decent players in them sides. I look at the Everton side and think, what is that? Your decent player is Braithwaite. Like, what is going on here?
The best manager they've ever had has just come home. That worries me.
But there's just nothing in this Braithwaite, Decore, the fella that scored against City, maybe if you chuck him in there, but there's just nothing in that team for me.
You're right. Not much talent there. But I mean, if Moyes rallies the troops and gets them to just run around and get in our faces, like I don't see us coping with that very well. And we've got players that will just make poor decisions and like we'll end up giving a penalty away because silly things like that. Or
but they've still got to score the penalty. That's the problem.
Do you know what? Maybe
I don't think you understand how bad their front line is.
Maybe their best chance is a corner, getting big old Tarks and Braithwaite on the keeper or something.
It probably is. Again, but then they've got to win a fucking corner. Come on here, guys. They've got to do things to make these goals happen. I can't see it.
Like they're that bad. They're not that bad.
Oh, mate, they're not. Like, Ashley Cole's about 82 years. Ashley Cole's older than us. Well, he's older than some of us. I know that.
Yeah.
Come on, he should not be playing fullback for any Premier League side at the minute. It's
I'd
crazy.
love us to go out there and spat. We need a win. Spurs we need a win. No, make no mistake about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we're a bit closer on the predictions this week. But that's us for the evening. Greggs, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
More often. Some fantastic insights there, so we get you back on. You can catch me and Stocks again Sunday evening on the Sunday sessions. God knows what we're talking about this week, but we'll figure something out. Also, catch us Monday evenings on Spurs Kings TV on the pitch. But for those who've watched, good night. See you again soon.
Take care, lads.
See ya.